Hey guys, Filmington here. This video is all about the items that I collected in 2014. So I have a subset of those I'm about to show you guys. 2014 is when I got back into the hobby again. I was born in the mid 80s, so when I was a kid collecting, a lot of what I compiled was from the late 80s, specifically 88 plus, along with the early 90s. So many of the years and sets that are deemed overly produced and junk wax today are the items that I'll be showing for the most part today. So at the time, I knew that the cards that I was buying weren't the best investments per se. A lot of it was out of nostalgia, probably PC type items. I don't really have too much of a concept of a PC like most of the YouTubers out there. For me, the way I see it is every card has its price. But some of these cards will definitely be harder to move because of being from that era. But I just wanted to show you guys the good, the bad, the ugly. Getting back into the hobby, I definitely learned. It was definitely a learning experience with some of the purchases that I made. Definitely learned some do's and don'ts. So you'll see of the cards that I show today, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'll explain some of that with the rationale that I used when I was purchasing these items. So. And these are all going to be slabbed items that I'll be showing today. But first of all, and this is an exception because it's a little bit newer, but I purchased this, a 2013 Topps Chrome Manny Machado X-Fractor. This is not autographed. This is an example of a good purchase. Got it in a PSA 10. Got it before the Machado buzz really started going into full effect. Now he's acknowledged to be probably one of the top 20 players in the game. And if he gets signed by the Yankees, this card will only go up, which is kind of nice. So this is an example of a card that I purchased that has been doing quite well. So to the nostalgia era. These cards here, 92 Bowman. So great set, still pretty highly coveted and definitely not as mass produced as most of the other sets, even most of the other Bowman sets, I believe. Or at least from that age range. I think the 93 Bowman set was definitely mass produced, more than 92. But we have a 92 Bowman Manny Ramirez PSA 10. I think this item at one point in probably the mid to late 90s was going for a lot more than what I paid for it. I got it for under 15 bucks. 92 Bowman Pedro. So this is an example of a card that probably wasn't that bad of a purchase, given what's happened to Mariano Rivera and his prices. And it's tough to buy boxes and sets of 92 Bowman. They don't really come up too frequently on eBay. So this is not considered his rookie year per se. He does have a 91 Upper Deck Final Edition, but this card sells for about the same as the 91 Upper Deck, and a lot of people actually prefer it to the 91. And then we have a 92 Bowman Chipper Jones. So again, he did have a 91 card, multiple 91 cards, but the Bowman card is pretty sweet. I think it looks nice. I love his outfit choice on here. So not terribly upset with picking those up at the time in PSA 10s. Here we got an example of a couple cards that I don't feel as strongly about, but I would if they were Ken Griffey Jr. So Randy Johnson, 89 Upper Deck and 89 Donruss. Cards that are pretty difficult to find in 10s, maybe even more so with the Donruss. And these cards haven't quite appreciated as well as Griffey or at all. They've kind of stagnated, and there's no telling whether they'll ever see that leap. 89 Donruss, there's probably a greater chance there just because it's just so damn difficult to get a Johnson like this with this centering, with really nice edges and corners like this one has. I guess the top right corner is probably the best on this, but still got a 10. Very difficult to get. If you crack open boxes of 89 Donruss, you'll know what I mean there. Then, of course, the Upper Deck card, very nice. Considered one of the first premium cards at the time, given its the quality of manufacturing. There's some stains on this, but I'm pretty sure they're inside the or they're outside the case. Yeah, they are, or inside the case, but definitely not on the card. right, what's next? Here we got a BGS 9.5 Barry Bonds rookie 86 tops traded. So this card I probably purchased at an all-time low, under 30 bucks, including shipping. I think it was close to 25. This guy, whether he makes it into the Hall of Fame or not, people from all eras or age ranges understand how awesome this guy was, and probably how awesome he would have been if he never had taken steroids. Very great player, an iconic card. Would have been nicer to get into a PSA 10, but this guy's card is actually appreciated. So this would be a good buy example in the BGS 9.5. And then we have some more PC items. I apologize for the stickers on these cards, but that's because I listed them at I'm trying to sell them at one of the more recent shows, and it was just too much of a pain in the ass to take these sleeves out and then find the appropriate sleeves to put them back into afterwards. But yeah, so these are the dollar amounts that I'm trying to sell them at least at the show. On eBay, I might try for a little more just because of the eBay fees and shipping and stuff. But so we have a 92 Topps Manny Ramirez, really clean looking card. This guy will never make it into the Hall of Fame. I believe he was kicked out of baseball for cheating 3 times. Getting caught with steroids, I think, 3 times. 92 Stadium Club, Manny Ramirez. Not sure how easy it will be to sell these, but I am selling in the Boston area, so I think there's a chance. This Pinnacle card, there were no examples of recently sold items on eBay, and there were a couple that were listed at Buy It Now with no best offer around 70, 75. So that's why this one's trying to sell this one for a little bit more, trying to take advantage of, I guess, the current scarcity. And then, of course, we got the 92 Upper Deck. So I think that pretty much covers it for Manny rookies. I might be missing one. Leave a comment if I am, but he meant a lot to Red Sox fans at the time, helping give us our first title in quite some time. So he was a big part of the 2003 and 2004 runs from that standpoint. And then we got Greg Maddux PSA 10 Flair Update Glossy. I guess it wasn't a terrible purchase at the time, and it's because I got it in a 10. The 10s are definitely where it's at. It seems like it's always been that way. 4 cards, 80s and on. The 10s just seem to do better than the 9s because they're more rare and more sought after. A lot of people won't buy cards if they're not 10s. So there's a Maddux, not a bad buy. These cards I thought were kind of interesting, so I wanted to show you guys them. So the 91 Topps Desert Shield series was a limited print release. I'm not sure how many copies there were, but I did pick up quite a few at the time, and I got them at BCCG 10. Would they grade at PSA 10? I'm almost positive not. I won't be crossing them over. You'll notice on eBay that sometimes BCCG 10s will actually go for more than PSA 9s, which I think is a mistake. But there's just people that think that there's a chance that they could cross over to PSA 10. So this just that small likelihood is enough to give them that spike, that hope. So we have a Carl Everett rookie here. Of course, he was a Red Sox for, I think, like 3 to 4 years. Had a couple good seasons for us. Gave us some offensive boost with some drama attached to it. But then we have a Paul O'Neill card. This is not his rookie, but I thought it was kind of cool. Then we have a Fred McGriff. So all in BCCG 10s. So those I don't think were terrible buys. I think I'll definitely be able to recoup my money, or at least 90% of it, even if I sold them on eBay, listed them at an auction. And then here we have an example of a couple cards that were bad buys. So when I was growing up, I always saw 89 Upper Deck and 90 Leaf. I guess from the ages of 88 to like 94, when I stopped collecting for the most part. I always saw 90 Leaf and 89 Upper Deck to be the premium brands, the most exclusive or sought after or more rare even. Perhaps that was a little foolish of me because these cards didn't really move anywhere. And these were cards that I never owned as a kid. I think my sister had one that I ripped when we got into a little fight. But I think she bent my Jack McDowell 89 Donruss, and then I bent her 90 Leaf Frank Thomas. At the time, it was pretty close of a trade, but I definitely she got the worst of it because of we all know what happened to, or it might have actually been Roger McDowell, I forget, but so I got these two in BGS 9.5s, and if I had them out in PSA 10s, they probably would have retained their value, if not appreciated a bit. But here's just an example of the flock to PSA. These are now considered older cards, and even if they weren't, just PSA 10s, I think they just handle a little bit better, especially when you're not looking at on card or sticker autographs that need to be authenticated. PSA 10 is really the way to go. So not just in 90s stuff and early 2000s stuff, but in modern stuff too, I think. I just think PSA 10 is a bit safer. Even if you have to pay an extra 10 to 15%, in some cases 20%, it might still be the way to go, unfortunately. So, a couple other cards. Here's another example. So, this is from 2000. This is Miguel Cabrera's rookie. Topps Traded. It's not chrome. It does have 10 centering, which is kind of cool. But this is one that if I picked it up in PSA 10, I think I would have had a better chance. Or maybe if I had purchased the chrome edition. But I'll definitely be taking a hit on this one. It's too bad because Miguel Cabrera is he's had a really good career. I haven't really followed him closely enough to know whether he's a Hall of Fame candidate. I think he'd be a candidate. I don't know if he's a shoo-in because right now he's about 34 years old and he needs to get that back healthy and maybe drop a few pounds and prolong his career and have some quality seasons with 175 plus hits to seal that envelope. And then the last card I wanted to show is a Tony Gwynn 83 Topps rookie. Tony Gwynn, especially after he passed away, his cards have been doing pretty well, to be honest, I think. But because I didn't opt for a PSA 9, I think I might take a small hit or even break even on this one. Probably not the best purchase. Probably should have gone PSA. It's 1983, so we're talking 35 years ago. PSA was the way to go for that year for sure. So, and plus there's just a lot fewer PSA 9s and 10s out there, and people tend to seek those out. So, all right, so that's it for this video. I hope you like what you saw. Leave me a comment, subscribe, do what you got to do. Thanks. Bye.